Well, hello my lovelies, it's Murky Meg here. It's Sunday the 31st of January and something weird is happening in the world of Harry and Meghan. When is it not, I hear you ask? But this one is a real head scratcher. It's come to light that a month after Archie's birth was registered in the UK, Meghan changed her name on it. Now, originally, the name under mother was Rachel Meghan, Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. And Harry's was stated as His Royal Highness Henry Charles Albert David Duke of Sussex. But amendment was made on the 5th of June 2019. Now, it says that in the space for His Royal Highness Henry Charles Albert David Duke of Sussex, corrected to His Royal Highness Prince Henry Charles Albert Duke of Sussex. So Prince was inserted into the titles on the birth certificate. It could be just down to administrative error, to be perfectly honest. This is where it gets interesting. In space 7, which is where the mother normally puts her details, it says that Rachel Meghan, Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex, is corrected to Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. So Rachel Meghan has been completely erased. It's a strange move, and a lot of the tabloids are saying that it's a nod to Princess Diana, who very famously went by Her Royal Highness the Princess of Wales. So I'm going to go and have a look back at Prince George, Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis's birth certificate to give this kind of an indication of whether or not there's precedent here. Now, Prince George, the name and surname of mother, it's down as Catherine Elizabeth, Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cambridge, and under father it is His Royal Highness Prince William Arthur Philip Louis Duke of Cambridge. Princess Charlotte is exactly the same, down as Catherine Elizabeth, Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cambridge, and His Royal Highness Prince William Arthur Philip Louis Duke of Cambridge. And it's exactly the same with Louis's birth certificate as well. So this is very perplexing of why Meghan has removed her name from Archie's birth certificate, and it's understandable why Harry, I was going to call him Henry then, that's his real name, but he goes by Harry, why Harry would put Prince in there. Again, it's precedent. Now it's led everybody to believe that she's so obsessed with her titles that that's all that matters. She no longer is Rachel Meghan, she is just Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. And to be perfectly honest, this looks really bad for her. The medium amount of articles that have been released about either of them has been pretty thin on the ground recently. But when they have been released, they've not been raking up that many comments on the Daily Mail. Normally, anything to do with Harry and Meghan would have got huge amount of comments, thousands and thousands and thousands. Not so recently, until this one, and people are angry. And I think purely for the fact that Meghan herself said recently that she didn't want to be ranked. And also you've got to remember, she's very, very vocal on the empowerment of women and her feminist views. Now, I'm not a feminist per se. Do you know what? I just go with the flow, to be perfectly honest. But you'd think as somebody with such a strong view of identity and feminism, you'd want your name on there rather than your title. Well, what mother doesn't want their own name on their child's birth certificate? It's bizarre. Or is it? Let's take a look at Prince William's birth certificate, shall we? Father is listed as His Royal Highness Prince Charles Philip Arthur George Prince of Wales. Mother is simply Her Royal Highness the Princess of Wales. And Harry's birth certificate is exactly the same. This is why I think it was changed. She wanted it to be exactly the same as Princess Diana's birth certificate for her two children, William and Harry. I mean, William and Catherine didn't do it, yet she wants to emulate the same birth certificates as William and Harry, as did Princess Diana. It is a very, very strange move. She's not the Princess of Wales. She's simply a duchess. There is a vast difference with regards to hierarchy within the royal family. Meghan Markle will never be the Princess of Wales. That title will go to Catherine. And I bet it really sticks in her throat, doesn't it? Now, the papers are being kind and they're saying it's a sweet nod to Princess Diana. No, it's a veiled attempt to try and be Diana 2.0. It's not a nod. It's not a nice kind of indicator of how they feel. It's purely trying to emulate her icon because, let's face it, she's been obsessed with Princess Diana, hasn't she? She really wanted to be Diana 2.0 and it hasn't worked out that way because she couldn't hack it. I'm sorry to be cruel, but you got to be cruel to be kind, haven't you? She couldn't hack the royal family because her ego got in the way. She didn't want to be married to the sixth in line. She wanted to be the star. That is evidently clear. I find it all rather a bit distasteful, to be honest. And the general consensus of this news coming out is she really loves the title, doesn't she? And considering that the British royal family have been painted as villains and didn't support her, yeah, it's not looking like that though, is it, Meghan? Now, I've looked on the government advice website on what you can and can't change about your child's birth certificate. Basically means a correction can only be made when the information on the certificate is wrong. The certificate cannot be corrected to show new information if your circumstances change after the birth is registered. But what gets me is that this isn't a valid change, I don't believe, because the information that was listed on the register isn't wrong. Her name is Rachel Meghan. And in order for the registrar to change this document, the birth certificate, you will need to show information given at the time of the registration was wrong. You must send in documents with your application that show what the correction information should have been. These documents should be valid or dated around the time your child was born. Documents that can be sent in include a passport, photo driving licence, bank, building society or credit card statement, letter from the hospital or doctor, letter from the government department. I mean, come on, they're not just going to call her Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. She's going to be Rachel Meghan on all of these documents because that is her legal name. And it does state very clearly on the government website, if you're not able to send proof, corrections cannot usually be made. And are you telling me that her passport or her bank statement has Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex and nothing that says Rachel Meghan on it? I find that laughable, to be completely honest. She's really clinging on to those titles, and unfortunately this has come about at a time where the news has hit that she will probably not be coming to England with Harry in the summer when the birthday celebrations for the Queen and Prince Philip are happening. It's been alleged that Harry will be the only one to come and Meghan will leave Archie with her in California. Now, I'm a little bit conflicted on this one, where I don't ever want her to step foot on British soil again, and I've always said, unless she legally has to, i.e. she's compelled at the trial to step foot in the UK to give evidence, she won't ever come back to the UK because she knows exactly what reception she will get. So this doesn't surprise me. What surprises me is that Archie won't be coming as well. Now, this very may well be the last time that the Queen and or Prince Philip will ever see their great-grandson again in person, and I find that cruel, to be perfectly honest. It's one thing for Meghan to stay at home. That's fine. If she doesn't want to face the music, if she feels that we've been the big bad British people and that she thinks she's going to get booed, she probably will, then fine, stay away. But don't use your child as a weapon of manipulation, which is exactly what this is. Can you imagine how Harry is going to feel rocking up without Archie? Everybody will be there with their children. It will be the biggest celebration. For goodness sake, we have 2 huge birthdays coming up. Without Archie, I think he's going to be extremely sad, and he's going to show that on his face. Will he be involved in the celebrations? Will he be standing on the balcony? Which I'm sure there will be, because that's the way the British royal family do it. With all big celebrations, they're always on the balcony, and I think that's fantastic. It's a wonderful tradition that the royal family do. It shows the people that they are there, and we love them. We love the British royal family, or the majority of Brits do anyway. And it's the way that they can converse and we can see them all as a family unit. to have Harry there alone, I think, is incredibly pitiful. And I do wonder whether or not it's Harry's idea or Meghan's idea to admit Archie from the celebrations as well, because he's going to grow up and think, well, why wasn't I included? You can't just scrap his father, i.e. Harry's, whole side away from history because it's literally in the history books. I mean, how is he going to feel when he's older to realise that he wasn't part of this amazing celebration, even though he's probably too young to remember it if he was there? But it's still going to be history in the making. I just find it incredibly sad, to be perfectly honest, that if Harry turns up alone, he's not going to get very good reception, is he? Because of exactly what he's done over the past couple of years. And it's not going to be very nice. Do you think he'll turn up? Do you think he'll turn up alone? Do you think she will come with him? Do you think he will bring Archie? And do you think he will be involved in all the celebrations with a plastered on smile? Because it's got to hurt him. You know, this is his family too. And however much he has been ripped from them, he still must care about them deeply. Or at least I hope he does. Because they are his family. And I hope that sooner or later he will come round in realising what exactly he's done and how disastrous this whole leaving the British royal family has been in terms of their relationship and shattering everything that he used to hold dear. I mean, he's besotted with Meghan. It's just clear indication of her narcissistic ways, isn't it? That's how narcissists play. They love bomb their victims. They literally consume themselves with them and make sure that they are the only person that is entirely important to them. And then when they get bored, they kind of play around a little bit. And I'm wondering whether if Harry is now rethinking all of this and the way that it played out. You've got to realise, haven't you, that Harry's alone in California. I'm not playing the pity card. I really am not. I don't feel sorry for him one bit. He's made his bed and he's got a lie in it, quite frankly. But this whole celebration is going to be happening this year for his family, and yet he can't celebrate as he would normally do if he was still part of it. And he's probably torn between what his wife wants him to do and what he feels he should do, being the grandson to the Queen. Maybe a little bit of regret is stepping in. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe the writing's on the wall. Maybe a divorce announcement is imminent. I don't think so yet. I've always said I'd give them 3 years, but with the pandemic going on, you know, she hasn't been able to really ramp up that cash cow just yet, has she? So I think that she'll probably elongate it a little bit more and eke it out, and to really make sure that if she has to step away, which ultimately we all believe it's going to happen, it's not if, but when. I just think she's not managed to really up her game just yet. And if Harry does come to the UK and takes part in the celebrations this year, what do you think the public's reaction is going to be to him? You know, when he did his final engagements and he went to the Endeavour Awards, I believe it was, where she did the whole blue dress and there was that supposedly iconic photo moment of the flash and the umbrella. They got booed that night. It was clear, and Harry's face was a picture. You could see it was a flash of anger. There was no resentment, there was no remorse, it was just sheer anger for that brief second. But they did get booed. And a lot has gone on since then, since they stepped away. There's a lot of resentment with regards to these two coming from this country. And I can't see his involvement in any of the celebrations is going to go down too well. So I would love to know your thoughts on this. Why on earth did that change happen? Do you think it was purely to emulate William and Harry's birth certificate like Charles and Diana did? Is it just simply to go, well, I'm in the same league as Diana, look, same birth certificates for our children, aren't I fabulous? But in an American accent, of course. It can't be anything to do with royal protocol because William and Catherine didn't do it for their children. So it's come from them themselves, Harry and Meghan. So why do you think they've done it? And if it was purely to emulate Diana's birth certificate for her children, why on earth has Harry gone along with this? It is so bizarre, isn't it? And what do you feel about Harry coming over this year for the celebrations without Meghan and Archie? Do you think that probably it's the best because she's going to get booed anyway? Or do you think it's quite a selfish move of the pair to not bring Archie over so the Queen and Prince Philip can spend some time with him. As always, I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.